Hi everyone. So today we are going to discuss the chapter called boiler. The list of things we are going to discuss in this chapter: the types and comparison of boilers, mountings and accessories, the fuels, various fuels used in the boiler, and performance calculation, boiler trial. So these are all the things we are going to discuss in this chapter. So this is Manoj JK from Rohini College of Engineering presenting. Yeah, the classification as shown. At first, we have to know what is boiler. Boiler is a device which evaporates the working fluid and make it as a vapor state. So there are variety of boilers are there: a steam boiler or steam generator, mercury boiler, and other chemical boilers are there. So here in this chapter we are going to discuss about the steam generators, only the steam boilers. Boiler is a device which converts the liquid state water into the gaseous state steam by the latent heat of vaporization. The input to the boiler is given by the furnace. For the furnace we are using three various fuel: solid, liquid and gaseous fuel. When we are considering the solid fuel, the coal is used. So by combusting the coal in a furnace, the hot gases are produced. That hot gases is sent to the boiler tubes or boiler shell, where the convective heat transfer taking place. So though the convective heat transfer taken place, the water absorbs the heat from the hot gases, and due to its latent heat of vaporization, the water starts evaporating. At one stage, the water becomes a wet steam. So by further heating the same, so it become a dry steam, and that dry steam is specifically sent to, according to the application, it may be of superheated steam or a dry steam. We can vary by using the superheater setup, so that we can discuss in the in the last chapter. So hereby the boiler is a device which used to convert the water into steam with the input. Okay, then let we see the classification of boiler. So the boiler is majorly classified into two: fire tube boiler, water tube boiler. So in case of fire tube boiler, the fire, that means hot gases from the furnace is flows to the tube, and the water surrounds it. And water tube boiler, which is opposite to the fire tube boiler, where water flows through the tubes and the hot gases from the furnace surrounds it. So simple, the examples of fire tube boilers are simple vertical tube boiler, coherent boiler, Lancashire boiler, and locomotive boiler. Water tube boiler, the example Babcock and Wilcox boiler. Then high pressure boilers. High pressure boilers are Lamont, Loeffler, and Benson boiler. So that means the Lamont, Loeffler, and Benson boilers are used for the power plants, so which can operate in higher pressures more than 80 bar. The Babcock and Wilcox boiler is also one of the high pressure boiler. Let me discuss the brief classification of boiler. Boilers are classified so according to various parameters. First classification is according to the flow of water and hot gases. Fire tube boiler and water tube boiler, as we discussed prior. Fire tube, in the sense, fire, the hot gases from the furnace is flows through the tubes and water surround. The same water tube boilers, or the water flows through the pipe and hot gases surrounds it or passes along with passes across the pipe. Example Babcock and Wilcox boiler. According to the axis of this shell, vertical boiler, horizontal boiler. Then according to the location or position of the furnace, internally fired boilers, externally fired boilers. Internally fired boilers. In internally fired boilers, furnace is one of the integral component or integral part of the boiler. That means the furnace is kept inside the boiler structure. In case of externally fired boiler, the furnace is kept outside the furnace setup. So therefore in internally fired boilers, the furnace is the integral part, so which is placed within the boiler structure. And in case of externally fired boiler, we are having a separate furnace built outside the boiler shell. And according to the application, the stationary and mobile boilers. Stationary boiler is a fixed boiler which is installed permanently. It is also called as a land installation or land installation boiler. So once if it is installed, it cannot be movable or it cannot be transported to somewhere. Mobile boilers is also called as a mobile or marine boiler. It is mostly used in ocean cargo, passenger ships, and most of the marine application in cruise, which uses the marine boiler or mobile boiler that we can locomote. That means we can move anywhere. And according to the steam pressure, we can divide the boilers into three: low pressure, high pressure, and medium pressure boilers according to their range of pressure. Here we are going to see one by one. First of all, we are going to discuss about the fire tube boilers. Fire tube boilers, as we already discussed, hot gases or flows through the tube and the water surrounds it. So the first case, the first example, simple vertical tube boiler. So the image shown in the display. So here, look at the structure of the shell, boiler shell. The axis is vertical, so therefore it is a vertical axis boiler. Otherwise, as the name indicates, it is a simple vertical boiler, right? So inside the boiler at the bottom, there is a combustion chamber or a furnace, which is an integral part of the boiler shell, boiler structure. Therefore, it is internally fired. So after combusting the fuel, the hot gases were produced. So before that, we are feeding the coal, feeding the fuel on the grate. Grate is a mesh-like structure having having a rigid strength where the combustion taking place. We are feeding the coal. We are feeding the coal to the furnace where it is burnt. Afterwards, the hot gases were produced. That hot gases flows across the tubes, across the horizontal tubes or horizontal and inclined tubes having a water flow. So therefore, there is a convective heat transfer taking place. When the hot gases flows around the or crosses the water tubes, the convective heat transfer taking place. The water absorbs the heat from the hot gases and start evaporation. So after getting a required temperature up to after 100 degree, the water becomes a dry steam. The remaining hot gases were sent to the atmosphere through chimney. Here we are going to discuss about all the mountings of the boiler, which is essential to run the boiler safely and used for the control of boiler. So let me discuss from one by one. Steam stop valve. Stop valve is used to regulate the flow of steam to the turbine or any other process. So because boiler can be used for multiple purpose, one for a power production and for processing industry and for chemical industry, tanneries, so sugar industries. So moreover applications are there. So therefore steam stop valve is used to regulate the flow of steam to the process. And pressure gauge is used to check whether it is acting in a normal pressure. That means suppose if the pressure of the boiler is 20 bar, we have to we have to inspect whether it is running at 20 bar. Suppose if the pressure exceeds the maximum, there is a chances of the damage of the boiler shell, and it may lead to heavy accidents. To prevent such a problem, we are having a pressure level indicator, that means a pressure gauge. It senses the pressure and always reads. Suppose if the pressure is low, we need to take a necessary action to increase or improve the pressure up to its maximum. Suppose if it is beyond the limit, there is a safety valve. It shows in the right side of the shell. Safety valve, suppose if the pressure exceeds, the safety valve is automatically opens, and some amount of steam went out and the pressure will be normalized. There is a manhole. Manhole is used to inspect whether the water level is consistent or water level is decreasing. And one more thing is water gauge. Water gauge is nothing but to check the level of water. Suppose if the water in the boiler shell may get reduced due to the evaporation rate, so therefore it is a chances of getting accidents. So in such a case, we need to analyze the water frequently. So manual checking of water consistency is not possible at all. So therefore we are moving for the water gauge or water level indicator. Water level indicator always senses the level of the water. Suppose if it is gets down, the automatically it opens the feed valve and the water is filled up to the certain level. And fire hole is nothing but it is used to feed the fuel in the furnace. Feed check valve is an unwritten valve. And grate already mentioned is a mesh like structure. And firebox in the sense it is nothing but a combustion chamber and cylindrical shell, etc. Okay, this is a simple construction and working of the vertical boiler. Once again, uh, listen. By feeding the coal in the boiler, so in the boiler furnace, the combustion taking place. After firing the coal, the combustion starts. Therefore after combustion, the hot gases are produced. So therefore the hot gases are sent through, pass across the water tubes. Therefore water in the tubes get heated and it becomes steam. That steam is sent to the process plant through stop valve. This is a simple construction and working of this boiler. These are all the essential things we are going to discuss. Cylindrical shell. The diameter of the cylindrical shell is 1.25 meter and the height of 2 meter. And cross tubes is nothing but this cross tube is nothing but so one or more cross tubes are either reverted or flanged to the furnace to increase the heating surface to improve the water circulation. So therefore one or more cross tubes are used. And grate I already told you, it is nothing but a firebox where the fuel is fed up. And the fire door is nothing but which is used to feed the coal. And chimney, which is used for the exhaust of the combusted gases after the heat transfer. Next one, the manhole already told you that it is only used for the inspection purpose. Then handholds, these are provided in the shell opposite to the ends of the each cross tube for cleaning purpose. Ash pit, which is used to deposition of the ash, because after combustion the coal becomes ash, so therefore the ash will be removed properly. Suppose if not, the entire the combustion will not taking place completely, so incomplete combustion will leads. So therefore it affects the entire operation. For that we are having a separate ash pit. Then working principle, as I already explained, the maximum working pressure of this boiler is not to exceed 70 Newton per centimeter square. The next type of boiler is coherent boiler. So it is same as the simple vertical tube boiler. A case is a difference is in simple vertical tube boiler there is a single tube, but in coherent boiler we are having multi-tubular vertical fire tubes, because as it is a fire tube boiler, as it is a fire tube boiler where it is same as the simple horizontal vertical boiler, but in case there are multiple tubular vertical fire tubes are available, it is a modification of simple vertical boiler. Here the construction and the important components were discussed. Everything is same as we discussed in the vertical tube boiler. And come to the diagram. So these are all the essential component what we have discussed in the previous session. That means SV, from the top I am explaining SV, the steam or stop valve, and the pressure gauge PG is nothing but a pressure gauge. The stop valve is used to regulate the flow of steam. PG, that is the pressure gauge, is used to check the pressure acting inside the boiler shell, and the combustion chamber, the fire tubes. So everything same as the vertical tube boiler, but in case there are a single tube present in the, there is a single tube present in the vertical tube boiler, simple vertical tube boiler. But in this case, just you look out these things here. Look at this area. Look at this area. There are multiple fire tubes. There are multiple fire tubes are there. So therefore, in combustion chamber, there is a grate. We are supplying the, we are feeding the coal in the furnace and firing. Therefore, the combustion taken place. After combustion, the hot gases are produced. That gases is sent through the duct. So that duct is divided into the multiple tubes. Therefore, the hot gases flows through the multiple tubes and to the chimney. So where inside the shell of the boiler there is a water. Therefore, when the hot gases is convectively come to contact with the pipe and pipe to water, therefore the convective heat transfer taken place. So due to the convective heat transfer, the water gets heated at 100 degree, the water becomes steam. So therefore the steam is collected in the upper side of the shell, where steam, where by using the stop valve we can regulate the flow of steam through the process. The remaining everything is same as the simple vertical tube boiler. Again remember, note of it, when compared to the simple vertical boiler, the coherent boiler having multi-tubular fire tubes, that's all. So therefore we are increasing the area of heat transfer. So in case of simple vertical tube boiler, in case of simple vertical tube boiler, what we are doing, we are having a single tube where the hot gases are flowing through it. So therefore single pass will be there. Here we are having a multiple passes, therefore the area of heat transfer is increased. Therefore the steam production rate also increased compared to the simple vertical tube boiler. Well, let's see the specifications of this boiler. The shell diameter of coherent boiler is 2.75 meters and height of the shell is 6 meters. The working, as we discussed, these are all the mountings that we have already explained. The blow of cock, the blow of cock is nothing but when we are trying to clean the boiler. At first we need to drain all the impurities, mud, whatever the thing inside the boiler. So therefore, for releasing such an impurities, we are having a blow cock valve. And a fusible plug, it protects the fire tube from burning when the water level in the boiler falls abnormally low. Suppose if the water level of the boiler get reduced, at that time sometimes the tubes may the chances to burn. So therefore it protects the fire tube. Fusible plug protects the fire tube from burning when the water level gets reduced abnormally, right? Why we are using the word abnormally? Since we are having a water level indicator, so abnormally sometimes beyond that limit the water may decrease. So at that time the fusible plug will be helpful to protect the fire tubes. And then Lancashire boiler. So Lancashire boiler is another type of fire tube boiler. Here, it was comparatively different when compared to the previous boiler. It is one of the horizontal axis boiler, right? So look at the structure. As we know, it is placed. The tubes are placed horizontally. Therefore, it is a type of horizontal boiler, right? Here, the thing is, each fire tube having a separate combustion chambers. Suppose if it is having two fire tube means there is a two separate combustion chamber, right? So therefore we are dividing it into two, that is in the front end and the rear end. Left hand side is a front end and right hand side is a rear end. Okay, let's see the first diagram. There is a grate and fire hole to feed the coal or a fuel. So therefore, after firing, the combustion taken place. There is a fire bridge which deflects the hot gases to flow in a proper way. So therefore, the fire bridge is used. After combustion, the hot gases were produced, and the hot gases may sent through the pipe, and it moves to front end to the rear end. So after reaching the rear end, the structure of the boiler is completely surrounded with the brickwork. The half of the cylindrical shell, boiler shell, were surrounded by the brickwork as shown in the diagram, right? The passage is the passage which allows the steam through the bottom side at first. So therefore, it comes from the rear end to the front end again. So from the front end, these will be divided into two. These hot gas stream is divided into two, and it flows through the side flue. Here, look at the first diagram, front view of the Lancashire boiler. So if you look at that, from the grate, from the combustion chamber, the hot gases are flowing through the fire tube, and next it flows through the bottom flow. So look at the area bottom side of the structure. So after that, it coming to the again it comes to the front end, and it flows through the sides of the tubes. So look at the second diagram, top view. So first it flows from the grate, that means the front end to the rear end, then through the bottom it again comes to rear to front, and after that again it goes to rear end through the side walls. So therefore, we are increasing the heat transfer area. So therefore, by increasing the heat transfer area, the evaporation rate is increased. Therefore, the steam is produced. It is one of the horizontal type boiler. Remaining every mountings are same for every boiler. Here also the cylindrical shell, furnace, grate, fire bridge, dampers. That's important thing I have to discuss with you. Dampers. So dampers is one of the main component in this type of boiler. It is in the form of a sliding door as shown at the end of the side flues to control the flow of gases. And working we have discussed. And next we are moving to the water tube boilers, Babcock and Wilcox boiler. We have two different diagram. It seems to be clear. Babcock and Wilcox boiler. It is a type of water tube boiler, as we already said. Water tube boiler. That means the water is flows through the tube and the fire. That means the hot gases surrounds it. Here, it is the grate or the furnace is the integral part of the boiler. It is kept below the combustion it is kept below the boiler shell. Okay, listen, the first, it is a water tube boiler. Water circulated inside the tube and hot gases flows over the, and the working principle is here inside the boiler shell there is a water, and the water is flows by the natural circulation method due to the gravity method. Due to the gravity, the water flows through this direction, through this direction. At the same time, at combustion chamber, the combustion taking place and the hot gases were produced. There is a baffles which is used to increase the heat transfer area. Suppose assume without the baffles, directly the hot gases moves through the tubes and went out immediately. But due to the presence of baffle, the gases are moving in the turbulence or a zigzag way. So at that time, the hot gases touches the pipe, two or more times. So therefore, which increases the heat transfer area. So therefore, convective heat transfer taking place. So due to the convective heat transfer, the water due to the convective heat transfer, the water gets evaporated and steam is produced. That steam is due to the because we know that gaseous state substances will not obey the gravity law. It moves upwards. So therefore, through the riser, the steam rises and it sends to the boiler shell. Where the anti-priming pipe is there, the main function of the anti-priming pipe is to separate the water and the steam. And there is a safety valve and there is a stop valve. Stop valve is used to regulate the flow of steam to the process, and safety valve is used for the safety running of the boiler, and every thing is same as the previous one, right? And we are going to discuss about the high pressure boiler. As we discussed, Lamont boiler, Benson boiler and Loeffler boiler. First we discussed about the Lamont boiler. It is introduced by Lamont in the year of 1925, used in Europe and America. This is a modern high pressure boiler. And working of Lamont boiler, let me discuss with the diagram. So the structure of this Lamont boiler is shown. There is a separator drum. That is an important concern in this type of boiler. There is a feed water. Coming through the economizer. The economizer is a device which used to recover the heat. It's a heat recovery device. So economizer, as the name indicates, economy. Suppose if the economizer is not present, the hot gases after exchanging the heat to the pipes, it may went out through the chimney. So all the energy gets wasted. Suppose if you are combusting more amount of coal, we are getting more amount of heat. At the same time, if it is used for a single process, the remaining amount of heat will be wasted. So therefore, to prevent such a heat loss, we are having economizer. The feed water is coming through the economizer where it is preheated and send it to the separator or storage drum. From the storage drum, the water flows to the evaporator, as shown in the diagram. Flows to the evaporator. There are two evaporator we have shown. One is a radiative evaporator and one is a convective evaporator. So after evaporating in the radiative and convective evaporators, the water becomes a wet steam, and therefore after coming out of the evaporator, it becomes a dry steam. So listen carefully. When it enters into the evaporator, there are two evaporators available: convective and radiant or radiative evaporator. After the convective evaporator, it is in the form of a wet steam, and after the radiant heater or radiant evaporator, it becomes a dry steam, and again it's sent to the separator or storage drum. From the drum, the steam will be separated, and the steam is sent through the superheater pipes, where the superheater again heats the dry steam, and the steam becomes superheated, and the superheated steam is sent to the process. Therefore, all the amount of energy liberated by combusting the fuel is used. At first, it goes to the evaporator setup, and afterwards it goes to the superheater, and it goes to the economizer. Afterward, at last, it moves over the air preheater and went out through the chimney. So therefore, at each section, it loses its heat. So therefore, all the maximum heat we have produced through the combustion process has used. Okay, at last we are having air preheater to for the combustion. Fresh air is necessary because if we have plenty of oxygen, the combustion will take place continuously and completely. So therefore, we are having a fan to force the air inside the combustion chamber, and there is air preheater from the furnace. The hot gases are flowing towards the chimney, so therefore it flows over the air preheater at the end of the stage. So therefore the heat, there is a fin setup, all the fins gets heated. Therefore due to the conductive heat transfer and convective heat transfer, the air gets preheated, and the preheated air comes inside the combustion chamber where the combustion taking place. Suppose due to the atmospheric condition or a climatic condition, air having more number of water molecule or moisture, so therefore, to avoid such a problem, we are having air preheater. By using the air preheater, all the moisture content in the air gets evaporated. Therefore, the dry air gets inside the combustion chamber. This is a simple working of this kind of high pressure boiler, Lamont boiler. And the Bunsen boiler, the structure and everything is same as the Lamont boiler. In case, in this case, there is a separator vessel or separator drum is present. In case of Bunsen boiler, the separator drum is not available. So let's we discuss the Bunsen boiler next. So here the Bunsen boiler. So look at the shape, structure and every component is same as the Lamont boiler, but the separator drum is absent here. Here the same, the feed water is flows to the economizer where it is preheated and sent to the radiant evaporator. So from the radiant here, after the radiant evaporator, it becomes a which steam? After a radiant evaporator, it becomes a wet steam, and after the convective heat transfer, it becomes a convective uh, evaporator. It becomes a dry steam. So after the dry steam, it passes through the superheaters where it becomes a superheated steam and sent through the pipes, sent through the tubes to the process. And there is an air preheater where the incoming air to the combustion chamber gets heated. So once again, I'm explaining the Lamont boiler, and I'm comparing it with Lamont boiler having a same structure. What we are looking in the display, where the combustion taken place. After combustion, the hot gases flows through the chamber or the shell of the boiler. Therefore, the water is fed. The water is fed into the feed water is fed into the separator or storage drum through the economizer where it is preheated. From the drum, it is flows through the convective and radiant heat transfer. After convective heat transfer, it becomes a wet steam. After radiant heat transfer, it becomes a dry steam. After becoming a dry steam, it is passes through the superheater where it is superheated and the processes, and it is sent to the process plants. And the remaining hot gases flows over the air preheater where the incoming air gets heated to avoid the climatic moisture. So these are all the uniqueness. These are all the uniqueness of Lamont boiler and Bunsen boiler. The only one difference, the only one uniqueness is there is a separator drum available in Lamont boiler. In Bunsen boiler, there is no a separator drum, right? So therefore, it is also called as a drumless boiler. Next, we are going to look out the Loeffler boiler. Loeffler boiler. So Loeffler boiler, there is a combustion chamber at the top side. We are feeding oil fuel or pulverized coal in it, and it just a combustion taken place. Here we are looking out the tubes that is of wound spirally, right? There is an spiral tubes are present here. That is the radiant surface where the water gets heated at first, right? So here we are having economizer. The feed water enters through the economizer through pump. So after the economizer, the water gets preheated and is sent through the tank, where in the tank there is a warm water now available. By the help of the pump, we are circulating the water to the radiant surface. So in the radiant surface, there already we are having a combustion. Therefore, due to the combustion, the hot gases are produced. Due to the convective heat transfer, the water gets heated, and the hot water get heated and becomes a steam. That steam is sent to the superheater, where the dry steam becomes a superheated steam and sent to the process. That's a steam main. That means sent to the process. Therefore, the gas produced is goes through the chimney, goes as exhaust through chimney over the air preheater, where the incoming air for the combustion will used. So this is the simple working principle of this low floor boiler. So hope you understand well. If you have any query, you can